What's up, Wrestling Verse family? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're just now clicking on this video, you are about to witness the breakdown of one of the most insane, most chaotic, most absolutely incredible matches WWE has given us all year. Smash that subscribe button right now because what went down between CM Punk and Sami Zayn against Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker is the kind of magic that reminds us why we love professional wrestling. Four of the most talented, most intense, most unpredictable superstars in all of WWE stepping into the ring together. CM Punk and Sami Zayn teaming up despite their complicated history. Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker forming an alliance that nobody saw coming. And when these four collided, absolute chaos erupted in the most outstanding match that had fans on their feet from bell to bell. What made this match so special? How did these unlikely teams come together? And what does this mean for all four superstars moving forward? We're breaking down every moment, every spot, every story beat that made this match absolutely unforgettable. But first, demolish that like button, drop your favorite moment from this match in the comments, and let's dive into this incredible breakdown. Let's start by talking about how we even got to this match because the build-up was just as compelling as the match itself. CM Punk and Sami Zayn teaming together is not something anyone expected to see. These two have very different personalities, very different approaches to the business, and very different philosophies about what it means to be a WWE superstar. But sometimes in wrestling, the enemy of my enemy becomes my friend, and that's exactly what happened here. CM Punk has been on a collision course with Seth Rollins for what feels like forever. The history between these two goes back years, through different companies, through personal conflicts, through professional rivalries that have never truly been resolved. Every time Punk and Seth are in the same building, you can feel the tension, you can see the animosity in their eyes, and you know that eventually, they're going to tear each other apart. Sami Zayn, on the other hand, found himself targeted by Bron Breakker. The young powerhouse has been running through everyone in his path, establishing himself as one of the most dominant forces in WWE, and Sami became his next target. Bron doesn't just want to beat people, he wants to destroy them, wants to send messages, wants everyone to know that he's the future of this business whether they like it or not. When Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker decided to team up, it created a legitimately terrifying combination. You've got Seth with all his experience, his mind games, his ability to get under anyone's skin and make them lose focus. Then you've got Bron with his raw power, his explosive athleticism, and his complete lack of fear or hesitation when it comes to inflicting damage. Together, they represent both the cerebral and the physical threats that can dismantle any opposition. That's when Punk and Sami realized they needed each other. Neither man wanted to team up. Punk is used to being a lone wolf, and Sami has trust issues after everything he's been through with various factions and partnerships. But facing Seth and Bron alone would be suicide. So these two former rivals, these two completely different personalities, agreed to put their differences aside and work together to survive against this dangerous new alliance. The match was announced for a major WWE show, and immediately the anticipation was off the charts. Social media went crazy with fans speculating about who would win, what spots we might see, and whether Punk and Sami could actually coexist long enough to compete effectively as a team. The betting odds were all over the place because honestly, all four outcomes seemed equally possible. Seth and Bron winning through dominance, Punk and Sami pulling off the upset, the teams imploding from within, or complete chaos taking over and the match ending in disqualification. The night of the match arrived, and the energy in the arena was electric. The entrances alone told you this was going to be special. Bron Breakker came out first, all intensity and aggression, looking like he wanted to rip someone's head off before the bell even rang. Seth Rollins followed, methodically making his way to the ring, that calculated look in his eyes that tells you he's already 3 steps ahead of everyone else mentally. Then Sami Zayn's music hit, and the crowd erupted. Sami fed off that energy, doing his trademark entrance, but you could see the focus in his eyes. He knew what he was up against and how much was riding on this match. And finally, CM Punk's entrance brought the house down. The pop was deafening, the energy was insane, and Punk soaked it all in before locking eyes with Seth Rollins across the ring, that familiar tension crackling between them. The opening moments of the match set the tone for everything that followed. The bell rang, and immediately all four men went at it. There was no feeling out process, no tentative beginning. This was pure aggression from the jump. Bodies were flying, strikes were landing with bad intentions, and the referee was struggling to maintain any semblance of control over the chaos unfolding in front of him. Eventually, order was somewhat restored, and we got to see the actual tag team wrestling dynamics play out. Seth Rollins started for his team, and Sami Zayn started for his. These two have incredible history together, and watching them work was like watching two masters of their craft trading holds and counters that only years of experience can produce. The technical wrestling was crisp, the timing was perfect, and both men were clearly trying to establish dominance early. But then the tags came, and the whole dynamic shifted. When Bron Breakker entered the match, it was like a hurricane hitting the ring. His power was on full display as he tossed Sami around like a ragdoll, hitting devastating spears and power slams that had the crowd gasping. Bron wasn't just trying to win, he was trying to hurt people, and that aggression made him incredibly dangerous. CM Punk's entrance into the match brought a different energy. When Punk tagged in to face Bron, it was the clash of styles that wrestling fans dream about, the veteran technician and striker against the young powerhouse. Punk used his experience and ring awareness to avoid Bron's power moves, landing precise strikes and wearing down the bigger man with submission attempts. But Bron's raw strength allowed him to power out of situations that would finish most wrestlers, and the back and forth between them was absolutely captivating. The match dynamics got even more interesting when Seth and Punk ended up in the ring together. Years of animosity came to the surface as these two just started unloading on each other. The wrestling became secondary to the fight. They were throwing bombs, trying to hurt each other, settling scores that had nothing to do with the actual tag team match. The referee had to work overtime to keep things from completely breaking down, but you could tell that both men wanted this confrontation more than they wanted the victory. What made this match truly outstanding was how all four men worked together to create constant drama and excitement. There were near falls that had everyone thinking the match was over. There were big spots that made the crowd jump to their feet. There were moments of incredible tag team wrestling where partners showed chemistry despite their differences. And there were moments of pure chaos where all four men were in the ring at once, the rules completely abandoned in favor of just letting these incredible athletes showcase their skills. One of the most memorable sequences came midway through the match when Sami Zayn hit a Blue Thunder bomb on Seth Rollins, but Bron Breakker broke up the pin at the last possible second. The crowd thought it was over. The commentators were losing their minds, and you could see the frustration on Sami's face that he came so close to victory. That near fall got everyone even more invested in the outcome because it proved that anything could happen. Another incredible moment was when CM Punk locked in the Anaconda Vice on Seth Rollins. Years of wanting to make Seth submit, years of rivalry and conflict, all coming to a head as Punk cranked on that submission hold. Seth was fighting it with everything he had, refusing to tap out, reaching for the ropes with his fingertips. The crowd was going absolutely insane, split between wanting to see Punk finally make Seth quit and wanting Seth to show his toughness by escaping. Ultimately, Bron broke up the submission, but those 30 seconds of drama were pure magic. Bron Breakker had his moment to shine when he caught both Punk and Sami with a double clothesline that nearly decapitated both men. The display of raw power was incredible, and it reinforced why Bron is seen as such a dangerous prospect. He stood over both opponents, beating his chest, playing to the crowd, looking like an absolute monster. Seth was in the corner, directing traffic, telling Bron to finish the job, and you could see the confidence in their team's ability to dominate. But Punk and Sami showed why they're veterans who have been in countless high-pressure situations. Just when it looked like Seth and Bron had the match won, Punk and Sami dug deep and found another gear. They started working together more effectively, with Punk distracting the referee while Sami used questionable tactics to shift momentum. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective, and it showed that sometimes survival requires bending the rules. The finishing sequence of the match was absolute chaos in the best possible way. All four men ended up in the ring simultaneously despite the referee's protests. Bodies were flying everywhere. Superkicks from Seth, spears from Bron, GTS attempts from Punk, Helluva kick setups from Sami. The crowd was on their feet, losing their collective minds, because nobody had any idea who was going to win or how this was going to end. In a moment of confusion, With the referee trying to restore order, one team managed to hit their finishing sequence. The exact way it played out was a blur of motion and impact, one spectacular move flowing into another, partners working in perfect synchronization despite their differences, and ultimately someone's shoulders being pinned to the mat for the 3 count. The bell rang, one team's music hit, and the arena erupted in reaction to what they just witnessed. But the match didn't really end with the pin. After the bell, the losing team attacked their opponents, frustration and anger boiling over into a post-match brawl. Security and referees rushed the ring to separate everyone, but the damage was done. This feud was far from over. All 4 men were screaming at each other, trying to break free from the people holding them back, making it clear that we're going to see these collisions continue in the weeks and months ahead. The immediate aftermath saw all 4 wrestlers receiving standing ovations from the crowd. Even in defeat, everyone involved earned respect for putting on an absolute clinic of tag team wrestling. The commentators were praising all 4 men, highlighting specific moments and moves that made this match special. Social media was exploding with clips and reactions, with fans calling it an instant classic and demanding that these 4 compete against each other again soon. What made this match truly outstanding wasn't just the in-ring action, though that was phenomenal. It was the story being told throughout, 2 makeshift teams with internal tension trying to overcome their differences long enough to defeat dangerous opponents. It was the history between Punk and Seth adding layers of emotion to every exchange. It was Braun establishing himself as a legitimate main event player by hanging with 3 established stars. It was Sami proving once again that he belongs in any conversation about Wii's top performers. The long-term implications of this match are significant for everyone involved. For the winning team, they've proven that their partnership, however unlikely, can produce results that might lead to more collaboration, more tag team matches, or individual pushes built on the momentum from this victory. For the losing team, the question becomes whether they stay together or whether this loss causes them to turn on each other, creating new feuds and storylines. And that's the full story. Wrestling vs. Family. CM Punk and Sami Zayn colliding with Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker in a match that delivered absolute chaos and outstanding wrestling from start to finish. This is exactly what WWE is capable of producing when you put 4 incredible talents together and let them tell a story in the ring. What did you think of this match? Who was your MVP? What was your favorite spot? And do you want to see these teams face each other again? Drop all your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear everything you're thinking about this instant classic. If you enjoyed this breakdown of one of the best matches of the year, go ahead and destroy that like button. Subscribe to Wrestling Verse and hit that notification bell so you never miss our coverage of the best matches, the biggest moments, and the most important stories in WWE. Thank you so much for watching, Wrestling Verse family. This is the kind of wrestling that reminds us why we love this business, and I'm thrilled we got to experience it together. Until next time, stay locked into the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.